Sometimes it's good to live in Florida, with the tax, Disney World, sports teams. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good to live in Florida. It's sometimes good. But sometimes it's just frustrating. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and welcome. We are talking about the Miami Dolphins today. Small side note, I do love this hat. It is incredibly comfortable. One of my favorite hats. So, Miami. What can we say about the Dolphins that has not already been heavily engraved into our brains? They disappoint us. And by the time I was recording, pardon me, and at the time of this recording, a lot of the players, especially Christian Wilkins, probably one of my favorite people and personalities in football, is now a Raider. Can't blame the man for going where the money is. Not to mention, he went from Miami to Las Vegas. Not a bad transition from one city to another. Not a bad idea. I kind of respect it. But for the rest of it, it is really, really hard to realize that, man, it's weird to feel like the Dolphins are good. The Dolphins are going to the playoffs and not just they could have they're division leader. They didn't win the division. They blew off. They fell off. They froze to death in Kansas City. What? It's hard being a Dolphins fan, especially when Florida is literally the retirement capital of the world, and Miami has a combination of old retirees and young, vibrant spring breakers or young Latino dancers all over Miami Beach and the club, bum, 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 and they filmed Scarface there. So, yes, Miami is a complicated town because when LeBron was there, Miami was relevant again. When LeBron's gone, and Miami is still relevant because Jimmy Butler is crushing it. But Dolphins, I never liked your uniforms, but you surpassed expectations. I thought you'd be a 9-win team because I thought the Jets would be better, and that's what a lot of these AFC East predictions were going to be because Jets were supposed to be better. But you guys, the Dolphins, were better by a long shot. You guys Tua stayed healthy. You guys were dominant. It was almost unfair. It reminded me of wait, did the old days of the Miami Hurricanes, became an NFL team? Now they're just kicking butts and taking names. They're scoring point like they're the NBA team of the Miami Heat. What's going on? This is fantastic. I love it. We blew the division lead and we blew in the playoffs. You went 11-6. But toward the end of your guys' season, let's be fair. The 56-19 beat down by the Ravens, that was bad. That was bad. We know that. But you still had a chance against Buffalo at home. And we're going to start off with the worst game. Week 18 versus Buffalo at home. You had a chance. You had a chance to still win the division. You still had a chance against a Buffalo team that was desperate. The Buffalo still need way more things to go right the last 3 weeks of the season than you guys did. You guys crushed the Jets 30-0. Okay, but you beat the Cowboys. Say what you want to say about the game. It was kind of sloppy, but you beat the Cowboys. And then Baltimore, which even all of us was like, ooh, at least you beat the Cowboys, even though it doesn't affect you in conference play. And then you got destroyed. 56 points against your defense. And you guys could even score 21 against them. But you still had a chance. Beat Buffalo. Beat Buffalo, and you will right the wrongs of the last week's past. And at one point, well, it was 14-7. It was 14-7. It wasn't great. but you're holding on. But then Dante showed why he's so dynamic in the special teams game. So maybe that punt return touchdown hurt. It was like a right in the gut. But there was still a feeling like they don't have the Bills defense secondary is not that strong. You have Tua, you have Tyreek Hill, you had and he lost. He lost. Damn it, man. And then the game against Kansas City was almost like it was cold. There were multiple fans with frostbite. There were even complaining the game should have been postponed. I mean, the Bills game was. But man, it literally, the symbolism was perfect. The Chiefs, they were a tribe of warriors collecting fish in the winter to survive. And they just happened to spear themselves a dolphin. And they took him out of the water, and just like any animal from the ocean, it froze in the frozen tundra and died. Miami failed. Maybe you can even say Miami was already defeated. Once the weather said it was going to be literally -1,000, it was over. I mean, sometimes the narrative could be as simple as, well, a warm place team going against a cold place team, the odds should be on the cold place team, right? I mean, that was the theme for the Bucks for decades. They can win under 40. Miami should be even more like we're used to coldest is 83. That's cold for us in Miami. But didn't. Lost it all. But not all sad. We had hope. Now, like I said, your best game is sadly in that first 4 weeks, and I don't like to count it. But you guys made history in that first 4 weeks. And I cannot, in all good conscience, ignore that. You put 70 points in an NFL game against Denver, where we all knew you could have broken the NFL point score record. But you had charisma, you had class, you had dignity and respect. But we all know probably 9 out of 10 people would have been like, I would have gone for the field goal. Just to get the record. And then I would have taken my critics with my arms out going, you had to stop me from scoring. You didn't. Opportunity was coming. It was right there. I had to do it. You forced my hand. Don't know why I'm talking like this. Like I'm some kind of terrible gangster. But 70 points. Yes, it's in the first 4 weeks. And I know I can be viewed as a hypocrite on my own channel. But man, 70. If this was week 1, I still would have put on the list. 70 points. That is impressive. I mean, I'll admit I don't like high scoring games. When it looks more like a basketball score than a football score, I don't like it. I don't like the 35, 38 scores. I'm a defensive guy. I love defense. I play defense. But man, but then again, I don't like 13-3 games. A game where the combined points is less than 20. I don't like those either. I mean, I think a 17-21 is right there in between. 20-21, that's right around for me is good for me. But when a blowout like this, I can't help. I mean, when you see it in high school and in college, you're thinking, well, they're student athletes, at least for the college one. They're student athletes, they're not getting paid, so it's not so much of a like, dang, I'm getting paid, but I got my ass kicked. It's not like that. Well, not only college football, it's not like that. Maybe high school, you never know. But it's like you're a student athlete, you're a student. There's no stake more than just pride. And I know pride can be more valuable than money, but it just feels like you're not getting paid to get your ass kicked. But when you're getting paid millions, and you get your ass kicked to the point of like thinking, golly, some of these players probably have never in their entire football career lost a game by this margin. And some of them probably won games by this margin back in their day in high school and college. And now they're in the NFL, grown men in their mid-20s, early 30s, realizing I'm getting my butt kicked like I'm a high school JV team. What is going on? I mean, congratulations to Marvin Mims Jr. He never quit. He had that 99 kickoff return. He didn't quit, so bless him for at least saying, I'm not quitting. I'm not saying the Denver Broncos quit. I'm not saying that. But would you really blame them saying that they didn't? That they did? And they just been like, guys, it is 49-13 in the third quarter. We have one more quarter to go. If any of my starters you want to get out, you're more than welcome to. Any of my backup play want to get experience, you're more than welcome to. Okay? Let's just let's not get ourselves hurt here, guys. Okay? We're not gonna win this game. There's no way. So, yeah. I mean, this other game you can try, but you put 70 points. I don't think we'll ever see 70 points scored again anywhere else. So to me, best game for the Dolphins because it made us just all go, huh? What? 70? No, it has to be a typo. It has to be a typo. It was 20-7. But no. It had to be a typo. And they're looking like, it is. And for the Dolphin fans that were watching the game, whether at the stadium or on TV, how many of you stopped watching when it was 42-13? You were like, the game's over. Okay, time to watch something else. Or you're just thinking like, $10 to get to 50, $10 to get to 60. They're breaking the record. Dude, shut up, man. They're breaking the record. Come on, come over here. Come on. They chickened out. You pansy. Go for it. I know. It's a dick move. But man, come on. When are you gonna have the chance to make history, make this mark among history in today's football? The sad thing is that the new rule, NFL rules about the drop hip tackle. I think NFL executives want more of this. They want more 70 points. They want more points, not defense. It's gonna suck. Okay. Your offensive, but it's your offense. Your team MVP is gonna go to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill had a mission. He was so close. He was 200 yards short of 2,000. He missed the game. Could have made a difference? Possibly could have made a difference. He had 13 touchdowns, which funny enough tied to Mike Evans, which it still bugs me saying, wait, Mike Evans tied with Tyreek the Cheetah Hill? Really? All right, that's interesting. But man, Tyreek was on a mission. I mean, Tua did great, but come on. 1,800 of Tua's, 4,600 yards were Tyreek's. Pretty much almost half of Tua's yards were to one player. That's awesome. And with Tyreek saying that once his contract ends in Miami, he's done, which things will make him 31 years old. There's a part of me where I feel like I respect it, and there's a part of me where I feel like he won Super Bowl, he made his money, he lives in Miami. I don't see why not. I mean, I know some players don't want to retire when they're barely running at 60% and they're just trying to let me just make it through the season. I'll retire, even though everyone's like he's gonna retire. It's just obvious. Look at him, how slow he is. He can't catch anymore. He can't break. He's barely getting catches a game, And I don't want to call out some other receiver that went through that type of thing where it's like you can just tell man, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's not playing as he used to, and this is gonna be his last year for sure. It just feels that way. There's one play in particular I don't want to mention it because I respect him too much because I feel like I'll just be taking a dump on his history, but you probably know who I'm talking about. So, and if you do, maybe make a comment below. I'm not a big acknowledgement making comments, but Tyreek Hill MVP definitely. The Dolphins grade, even with the failure at the back end, they still get a B for me. I think they were a B team, B plus team. It's gonna shame because a lot of the pieces. I mean, they went through injuries in their pass rush department. That's why I feel like they're gonna get pass rushers, like no doubt. If they can, get Dallas Turner or Lalu Latuda, the UCLA. I cannot pronounce his name. He always makes me go blah, 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 and that's not how I pronounce his name, of course. Or maybe get an interior defensive tackle, but they need that pass rush because they lost a lot of the pass rush to injuries. They got Shaq Barrett from Tampa on the free agency market. Shaq did not look as great. He was in Tampa. That's why we let him go. So we'll see what the future holds. But Shaq Barrett's still a veteran, and the cool thing is he doesn't have to go that far. So we'll see. But pass rusher for Miami, definitely, especially if Rodgers is healthy. The Jets do something. I mean, if Rodgers healthy. The Patriots get a quarterback. That's what I was trying to go. I was trying to get the Patriots get a quarterback, but I put the Jets and Rodgers in two different categories. If the Patriots get a quarterback in, just say, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen is still in Buffalo, and Aaron Rodgers returns, there's a potential that you're going to have three dynamic quarterbacks in your division, and your window of having dynamicness with Tyreek Hill is small. So B. They're a B plus team. B. That video went longer than I wanted to, but so we have one more team left to talk about the AFC East. It's obviously the Buffalo Bills, the last team, the team that had probably the best chance of going to Super Bowl and probably the best chance of beating the Chiefs since they were the home team and they didn't. So Buffalo is the next team to conclude the AFC East. Until next time, I am Cortez and I'm a critic. Thank you very much for watching.